Јас сум Боријан Јовановски, со мене во студиото во Европскиот парламент е европратеникот Тајс Рутен. Тој доаѓа од Холандија. Mr. Ruten, thank you for accepting the invitation.
Yeah, pleasure.
Obviously my point of interest is the prospect of the Western Balkan in the European integration. You know that the case of North Macedonia, we are waiting for 20 years, and I mean, we are candidate, almost 20 years, we are candidate country, but still stuck within a process. How do you understand the case of North Macedonia, first of all?
Well, you are completely right. North Macedonia is the longest waiting candidate. And I think, and that is my opinion, and I will continue to advocate for that we need not only to restore the trust in the Western Balkans in the enlargement process, but also to make a point and have one or two countries entering the European Union before the end of this mandate. We have lost 5 very precious years with a Commissioner, Várhelyi, who did not actively contribute in restoring this trust in the process. So we really need to work on this because it's in the interest of the European Union and, of course, also of the region of Southeastern Europe.
No one was happy with Mr. Várhelyi, at least the main political groups here in the European Parliament. What could we expect from the new Commissioner for Enlargement, Madam Koskovic? She's Slovenian, leftist, if I well understood. I mean, kind of part of your family.
Yeah, to be honest, it doesn't really matter what family a commissioner is from. The problem, one of the problems with Commissioner Várhelyi is that he did not live up to the very important Article 17, because as a commissioner, you are not, should not serve the interests of your political family, of the country that you were nominated by. You have to serve the interest of the European Union as a whole. And that is the problem, because we need commissioners who understand Article 17 of the treaties, that it is about the general interest of the European Union. And second, on the enlargement in particular, I think this is one of the most successful instruments of foreign policy of the European Union in the history. So we need to pick up on it, because we have lost too much precious time and we destroyed a lot of confidence in the region and also in North Macedonia in the process, but also in this collective future, because we need to make the bloc, the European Union, stronger. And I think it's vital that we relaunch the enlargement process, rebuilding trust, but also setting a concrete goal of 1 or 2 countries entering before the end of this mandate.
You have a good point. I mean, European Union lost a lot of the leverage that they used to have in the 90s or before anyway. So what can we imagine as what the new institution, I mean the new composition of the European institution could do in order to bring back some of the leverage? And,
we can speculate about what would the new majority in the European Parliament, the new composition of the European Parliament make for difference, what would the new Commission make for difference. But I want to plea to look at the facts. We need, first of all, to restore the trust in the region, and we can do that by giving a credible perspective on 1 or 2 countries entering before the end of this term, which also gives confidence to the other countries, because then you see that it is possible. And the second reason why we need to do that is that we have to discourage autocrats like Putin, but also President Vučić of Serbia, who continue to say that it will never happen. So we need to prove them wrong. We need to prove that it is possible, that it will happen, and that if you make sure that you fulfill the criteria, that you will actually be the 28th or the 29th member of the European Union. And I think that we need to do this not only because we need to make the bloc stronger, but also because we have a moral obligation to this region, because we cannot afford to have this region again entering in a phase of instability and possibly even renewed violence, which is a possibility when we let autocrats like Putin continue to destabilize the region from the outside, but also from within these countries. So it is paramount that we restore this trust in the process, but also that we get to work, because that is my point also with regard to North Macedonia. If we really want this, we can do this. I mean, I've been many times in North Macedonia, and I think that if we really put our head to it, use the expertise that we have in the European Union, we can pull it off. Of course we can pull it off. I mean, one or two countries like North Macedonia, but maybe also Montenegro or Albania could qualify. One or two countries before the end of this mandate must be possible if we really want it, because that is what I really lack, the spirit of the 90s, because in the 90s...
That's what we are looking for.
But in the 90s, it was also not easy. Nobody ever said that becoming member of the European Union was easy, but everybody said, but we're going to do it. And that is the spirit I'm looking for again. Because also, even the case of North Macedonia, but also other candidate countries, they all know it's not going to be easy. But if we say together we are going to do it, no matter the difficulties that we will still have on our path, that is the spirit that I'm looking for again. And it's a moral obligation towards these countries, because the waiting room is simply too full with candidate countries, but it's also in the interest of the European Union.
No air anymore in the waiting room. By the way, I mean, you know that the Macedonian case is very puzzled, because
I know.
There was a Prespa agreement. We accepted with the promises that we enter NATO and then we start the negotiation. Nothing happened. Macron invented kind of a new methodology. Once new methodology finished, we had the Bulgarians asking for the some other. So we are not talking about some demands which are related to the principles of the EU, but it's something which is completely different. So the previous Social Democrat government accepted the deal with Bulgaria to include Bulgarian minority within the constitution, but the new right-wing government is saying we need a different agreement with Bulgarians in the European Council. What can we do in order to find a way out of this labyrinth, if I may say?
No, I know the case of North Macedonia all too well. I've been very involved in the past mandate of the European Parliament in North Macedonia. And to be fair, the process that was put up under the French presidency, making the case or the relationship between Bulgaria and North Macedonia part of the accession process, I think it was an own goal by the European Union, because it was a mistake. However, I still think that it will be very difficult to sail out of it without the necessary changes to the constitution. I think the fastest way to get out of this situation is indeed to make sure, and that is not so far from what we are used to also in the European Union, to acknowledge the rights of different minorities in every member state. And I'm the first to acknowledge, and I think many people understand not even half of what it means to change even the name of your country because of wanting to become a member of the European Union. But North Macedonia did it, and I commend them for that. Because
the problem is that
it was a huge step. But we cannot continue as a European Union to every time raise the bar or change the rules of the game.
That's the question.
Having said that, I think that also the current government of North Macedonia should think really what is important for the future of the country. And I think that if we get this problem out of the way, then we will have a clear path towards a swift EU membership. The momentum could come with one or two countries, as I said, joining before the end of this mandate. And North Macedonia, I think, is on principle in a very good position to be one of these countries. But it's an incredibly difficult issue because
because the new government promised to the citizens who vote for that they will not accept this kind of conditions.
Yes, well,
so
yeah. Well, I said
again, it's a puzzle.
I said also before the elections that whatever government would be coming, that next government would have to make steps on this difficult. And I think we have to look at the interests of also the North Macedonian people. The Macedonians, they need to have this perspective as soon as possible of becoming a member of the European Union. Okay, this process and the proposal made by the French presidency was not a good one, in my opinion. Yeah. But even without that proposal, the whole issue of the Bulgarian minority should have been solved anyway. So yes, I know it is a big thing that is being asked, and I've been clear that it was not my preferred option, the way the European Union did it. But now that we are in this situation, I think we owe it also to ourselves and to everything that has been done already, all the sacrifices that have been made by the country, that we owe it to make sure that we get this process going again as soon as possible. This is too precious and too important to let it depend on an issue and using that issue also for political debates. I think every political party, whether now in opposition or whether now in coalition, should rise above this matter and together say, look, we are not going to make politics over this, we are going to fix it, and we are going for the general interest of the country. And then at some point there will be elections again, and there will be maybe another government, but the future of North Macedonia is in the European Union. That's what I want to fight for, and that's also where North Macedonia, opposition or coalition, will find me at its side.
Because of the rise of the Euroscepticism in North Macedonia, now we see the new government approaching Orban, Vučić, this.
Yes.
How do you see from this perspective of here from Brussels, this kind of a new coalition?
Well, I don't think it's a new coalition. The relationship between Prime Minister Orban and President Vučić was always very good.
So they are joined now by Mickoski in a way.
Yeah, but I really and I understand the political debate, and I understand that the new government in North Macedonia also wants to make a point here. But really, my really strong advice is to stay away from this alliance, because it's an alliance that will not bring the region and also not North Macedonia further.
Orban is a part of your alliance too.
No, but Orban wants to import as much as instability and as he can in the European Union. I mean, we might, on principle, say the same thing, because we are very much in favor both of enlargement of the European Union with the countries in the Western Balkans. But the terms under which we have to do that are different. And I think that we need to focus on the issues that are still outstanding. And I think North Macedonia has done already a lot. We are very close. It would be a disaster. It would be a mistake to jeopardize that by linking up with the wrong friends, because Vučić says in Brussels that he wants to join the European Union, but in Belgrade he says different things. He calls the European Union its partners, but Russia and China his friends. We need to team up as European countries, and as I said, North Macedonia future is in the European Union. That's my strong belief, and I really hope that despite the political differences and despite the political debate that I understand, that all political forces can find a compromise on doing the things that are needed to proceed, because I think that they're teaming up with people like Prime Minister Orban and President Vučić, who thrive by instability, by not living up to the principles of democracy and freedom, that is not the place where North Macedonia should be.
Talking about Vučić and Serbia, do you expect that the Kosovo issue will be resolved in your terms? I mean,
well,
what's
to be very honest with you, I think that the whole dialogue, as it's called, needs a reset. We cannot go on as a European Union like the past years. We have to be very clear towards President Vučić on what we expect from him, also in the relationship between him and the European Union. But we also have to be fair on our relationship with Kosovo. We cannot keep on treating the two countries in a different way, because we are very strict when it comes to Kosovo, but when it comes to, well, I can even start with naming the lists of things that happened in the past year, but the attack, the Bianjka attack, still unresolved. All the people involved in the violence to the NATO KFOR troops, still unresolved. And we are using double standards in this regard. I already mentioned the fact that I think that, because to clarify misunderstanding, it would be fantastic news for the entire region if Serbia would also get back to the path towards EU membership, but on the conditions listed also in the treaty, with a sound democracy, with a strong conviction to want to join this community of values. But I hear different signals from Belgrade. I hear signals that constantly are trying to incentivize instability, trying to destabilize also.
So there is no willingness mainly to resolve the question of
Well, and that's why we should not continue as we were going on with the dialogue process, because that was not leading to anything, because we had an agreement in Ohrid, the most recent agreement in Ohrid, that suddenly President Vučić was not able to sign.
Could we expect that the changing of the strategy of the European Union
I hope so.
towards Belgrade?
I hope the new Commissioner for Enlargement, but also the new HRVP, together can also use this moment of a new Commission taking office to change this process. And another point that I really want to stress is that I think that also, I know the difficulties also with 5 EU member states still not recognizing Kosovo. But that's not an excuse for leaving the application of Kosovo to become a candidate country already for 2 years on the shelf. I think the Commission can process that application and say, look, this application is in line with the conditions in the EU treaties for becoming a candidate country. Here, member states, you can decide what you want to do with it. And of course, I know that that will be a long trajectory, because we have still countries that are not completely ready to take that step. But I'm convinced that we need to also take the little intermediate steps. So the Commission should process the application of Kosovo, because it's now almost 2 years waiting on the shelf. It's unacceptable to me. And second, we also need a reset of the process, and investing in the bilateral relations, being clear towards Serbia what we expect from the Serbian government, and be clear to Kosovo what we expect from them, and also treat them on merits, because we cannot afford to let this process take hostage the entire region, because that's effectively what is happening if we continue like this. We cannot afford that. It's unfair to Kosovo, it's unfair to other countries in the region like North Macedonia, it's unfair to Bosnia and Herzegovina. We cannot afford to have President Vučić taking the entire region hostage. We need to reset this process.
My last question, what can we expect, what will be the impact of the results of the election in the United States in the relations between European Union and Western Balkans? I mean, Trump or
Yeah.
that is how it will change the whole,
Well,
very puzzling
Yeah.
geopolitical space.
Well, I hope, of course, that we will continue to partner with also the United States and not to forget the UK. It's not part of the European Union anymore, but it's still a valuable partner in the region, in the Western Balkans. But my general approach to the elections in the US is that I think, and I'm saying that already for more than a year, we spend way too much time on thinking and waiting and finding excuses for not doing something because we have to await the result of the election in the United States. No matter who will be elected, and I hope Vice President Harris will be the next president of the United States, but no matter who will be elected, we in Europe, on our continent, need to take matters in our own hands.
Make stronger autonomy of the European Union.
We need to take more responsibility also for bringing in the countries of the Western Balkans into the European Union. That is not something that is being decided in Washington. We need to do it, and we cannot wait any longer. We need to, as I said,
to deliver.
Yeah, find the spirit again of the 90s. Yes, it's difficult, but we are going to do it, and we are going to deliver for the people in the region because we owe it to them. It's a moral obligation, but it's also in our interest because if we don't make this bloc stronger in this world around us, we can play a better role if we are a bigger family, a well-functioning family of states, of countries, still independent member states of the European Union, but with a strong, united approach towards the values that we stand for. And every time I visited also North Macedonia, I saw that these people are longing for being part of that. That's a huge compliment. All these member states.
Hope you will visit again soon, and you will have much more questions.
I hope so. But
if you join the regular citizen in Skopje.
I know. But these other member states, the 27 existing member states, but especially also the 26 who were there when this proposal came on the table. I'm angry with them as well, because I can be very angry with Bulgaria. But I'm probably even more angry with the other 26 member states who were sitting there and saying, yeah, let's do it like this, because it was a wrong call, but now we are there. So. We need to sail out of this. We need to find a way out of this to make Europe stronger and to deliver also for North Macedonia.
Sir, dank u wel.
Graag gedaan.
Ви благодарам за вниманието и до гледане.